our youngest son, Jake, came out, and he told us that he was gay. We started on a journey that day, and that journey gave us the most beautiful, most wonderful gift we could be given. It gave us the gay community. We have been blessed beyond measure by our gay friends. They have become our family. We want you all to know that the Raytons will continue fighting for the GLBT community until all of God's children are treated with equality.
This is the civil rights movement of our day. We have 4 children. And our oldest son, Ben, well, in the last 2 years we've had 3 weddings. First, our oldest son, Ben, got married, and his best man was his little brother, our gay son, Jake. And then our second son, Josh, got married, and his best man was his little brother, Jake. And then our daughter got married, and Britta, and she didn't have a maid of honor, she had a man of honor, and it was Jake. But every time Jake stood up and signed those wedding certificates to make legal the marriage of his siblings, knowing that he himself did not partake in that institution. Someday, it hasn't happened yet, but Jake will find the person that he loves. And that person will be a man. And he will choose to get married, and for our family, we will call it marriage.
In this last year, Phil and I have been on the road. Literally on the road. We've traveled across Minnesota as this film has been shown in theaters and in churches and in colleges. We've been in places like Austin and Grand Rapids and Fargo and Mankato. And we have seen the power of this film. It is changing people's hearts. It's an important film to make sure that we one day have equality for our gay son. At every stop, we hear stories from families who have gay members. We have heard their pain, but we've also been filled with hope because we see them speaking out and helping to bring an understanding to their own cities and their own towns. When we share our stories, hearts are changed, and it brings us all one step closer to the day of equality. We see the power of this film. We see people are moved to tears, and then they are moved to action, and they want to see equality happen now.
One of the dearest members of our new family is here today. When we were arrested at Dobson's Focus on the Family headquarters, we met a filmmaker who was making a new film. We were so fortunate that he asked us to be part of that film. It's been a great privilege.
Never disrespect that. Ever.
That movie's been showing in theaters all over this country. Dan Carslake wanted to move this country on our issue, and he's been doing just that. For the Bible Tells Me So has won so many awards. It was shortlisted for the Oscar. It is really a great privilege for me to introduce the award-winning producer and director of For the Bible Tells Me So, Dan Carslake.
It is such a huge thing for me to be here. Not only to be here with the Raytons, who are such an amazing example, not just for straight allies across the country and really across the world, but also the LGBT community can learn so much from their incredible ministry of changing hearts and minds. I feel hugely blessed that they allowed me to tell their story in my film, and I hope you guys understand how lucky you are to have them here in Minneapolis and Minnesota, because they are an amazing voice for equality. It's also great for me to be here in Minnesota for another reason. My partner of 17 years, Russ Anderson, grew up in Pine Island, Minnesota, on the way to Rochester. So I'm here very often. I'm in Rochester a great amount of time, and most of his great family live here. So it's a huge thing for me to be here. It's also really exciting for me to come here. I live in New York. To come here and just look out at this crowd of people who are young and old and rich and not so rich, and people of color and people of pallor, gay people, straight people, and everyone in between. It's really amazing what a great job OutFront Minnesota has done for this, and how you guys have no idea how important it is that you're here today. So thank you on behalf of a gay American. Just for me, thank you for being here. You know, we live in a country that has a really long history of fantastic, amazing movements for equality. When you look at our history and look at the amazing movement for African American equality in this country and how far it's come. It hasn't come all the way, certainly, but how far it's come. And the movement for equality for women in this country has been significant and incredibly important. And now this movement for equality for gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people, it really is our time. And it's amazing that you're here, and fair-minded politicians, both in Minnesota and across the country, are really starting to understand that this is about fairness and justice, and we are here because this is who God made us to be. You know, no matter where you are in your spiritual journey, if you are someone, no matter who you think Jesus was, I think, if you think Jesus was the Son of God, or if you think Jesus was a prophet in his day, or if you think Jesus was merely a myth, if you look at that story of that man, it's the story of a man who embraced the outcast and brought people to the center. He did not make outcasts of people. And there are Christians and Jews and Muslims all over this country now who are really embracing the true message of this man called Jesus. So you should know that we're not here, we are here because we don't want to live in a country that doesn't allow us to be, or that allows us to be fired because of who God made us to be. I look forward to a country that doesn't allow people to deny me housing because of who God made me to be. And I also look forward to a country where I can marry my partner of 17 years and I can enjoy all of what that means in this country. And that is not denied me because of who God made me to be.